This is my third and final time recording this damn video. Okay? If you're not looking at this by now, it's over. I'm not trying to do it again, and I'm just gonna move on to a different project. This is my third time recording this. I want to try to make it a little less longer than it was. The first time I did it, it was like an hour and 10 minutes. And the second time was just an hour, and then I bring it down after like cutting a whole bunch of clips and unnecessary stuff out. So it came down to 30 minutes, and now this, I hope this one is just like 20 minutes, because I ain't going for it again. I'm trying to edit it and put in pictures and all this extra stuff, and it's just not working. Like, it's very frustrating. It's getting me upset, and I really don't want to have to go through this again. Alright? So, I'm just gonna, like, give some basic information of, I'm just really gonna speak on how I got the damn car, the issues that I had with it, what I did to fix it, and what was the end result. That's it. Alright, so let's go. So I moved down to Georgia in 2016. Originally from New York. So in New York, you really don't need no public transportation or anything like that. You got buses, trains, taxis, cabs, whichever one you want to use, you can use. So there was really no need for me to ever try to get my license, to try to get a car, and yada yada yada. What the fuck? Where was I? Moved down here to Georgia. My mom bought her first car, and I ended up getting a job, so she would take me to and from work. Kind of got a little bit tired of that, so I ended up wanting to get my license so like that I could possibly be able to drive myself to and from work. And went through the process of getting the driver's manual, reading it twice, cover to cover. I went for my permit first, because that's the first thing that you got to go for. You can't just go straight to get your damn license. I went for my permit, and it was like about 3 parts, and I passed the first part for the question test, but the second part of the question test I failed. So I came back probably like 2 weeks or so later, and then I ended up passing. A couple days later, I ended up going back to schedule my road test. Wow. Who, you would think that this being the third time that I'm telling the story that I would get everything just flowing to me, but no, clearly not. So I went, scheduled my road test, and then it was probably like a couple of days or maybe a week after I scheduled it that I was going in to do it. I had like little to no experience of driving, and when I went in there, I passed my road test with like probably 94 or 96. I failed the parallel parking, but you live in Georgia, unless you're all the way in the damn city, you don't need parallel parking where I am. Everything is drive-in parking, so I really wasn't worried about it. But I passed, and I ended up like a couple months later, I ended up moving to Virginia. So when I moved to Virginia, I ended up purchasing my first car, which was a 2001 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I paid it off straight cash. It was the best feeling ever. I was super duper excited. I only took 2 trips in it, and that was one time for Christmas coming to Georgia, and then when I decided to move back, which was my second trip all the way back here. And after being back for like not even a whole entire month, I ended up getting a job like all the way out in Roswell. I'm working at this job maybe a couple weeks, and I go one day to work, parked in the damn parking lot. My car decided that it wanted to tell me to check my gauge. Now, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not good with a whole bunch of cars. This is my first car, and I'm just like, what the hell does that mean? So I ended up just calling my best friend, and he's like, well, check your gas cap. I go and I check my gas cap. It was closed. So then my little meter started going all crazy. He was like, turn off your car, it's overheating. I turned it off and I just instantly started freaking out, thinking that my car was gonna freaking explode. But luckily it didn't. I ended up eventually taking it to the mechanic within like a day or two. He told me that my computer wasn't working, so it had to be reset, and then the part where all my coolant was, that part had like melted, so I had to do all that crap to it. After getting that done, he told me that the problem was done. So I end up going to AutoZone one afternoon, and when I got to a light, my car decided that it wanted to turn off. I was hella pissed. I'm like, okay, well, here I go. I just had this car fixed. Like, what is the problem now? So now I'm just in the middle of the road crying, calling my best friend again because I don't know nothing about cars. But I called him. He's like, but didn't you just take it to go get fixed? I'm like, yes, I did. You would think that it would be fixed, but no, apparently something wrong with it. It don't wanna, So I go and I turned it off, I turned it back on, and I kid you not, this damn car was going speed limit 5. 5 down 78. And I'm just like, one, freaking out because the damn car just turned off on me out of nowhere. And it ended up turning off on me again right at the light of where I need to turn to like get into my apartment complex. Now I'm just, like extra pissed off. I'm freaking out. Like, how am I supposed to go to work? Like, is this always gonna be happening? Like, I don't know what the hell to do. But I ended up learning that there was another mechanic in my apartment complex, which I let him take a look at the car, and then he was like, yeah, you need a new radiator. Your coolant isn't going through, whatever. So I purchased a new radiator. I paid him for his work. Long story short, I go to drive the car again. It's overheating again. Like, not even a whole half an hour drive. I drove to Walmart, which is like 5 minutes away and 5 minutes coming back. And I had to be to work that day. So anybody else would have been super duper pissed. Like, I know I was. Because now I work all the way in Roswell. I live in the Snellville area. So I'm just like, how the hell am I supposed to get to work? I just got this job. And, like, I really don't want to lose it because I do like it. I end up just going to stay with my aunt. She was closer to my job off of Jimmy Carter. And it was like maybe close to like 15 minutes of a drive to my job rather than 45 minutes from where I live at to Roswell. So I stay with her, and in the midst of me staying with her and her, like take me to and from work and me using her car to go to work and coming back, I'm doing research on purchasing another car, like which brand is the best over like a decade, like what's the most that it's gonna cost me to fix something if something was to happen to the car, going all out to make sure that I get a car with minimal problem and like the max amount in a year that I could possibly spend on maintenance possibly is like $2,000 or, it's not going to be exact, but I'm just giving an example. And one day I'm at work and one of the regular customers come in and she's like, oh, like, I thought you wasn't here because I didn't see your car outside. So I just like briefly let her know what had happened to my car. And she was like, well, girl, if you're looking for a car, you might as well just go to Enterprise. That's where I got my car from. I've had it for 2+ years and it's still in great condition. I haven't had really, like no issues with it. Maintenance is pretty good, blah, 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 blah. The whole nine. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll look it up. She told me that the best time to go and look at cars is at the end of each month, because they're trying to get rid of everything that they have like on the lot and stuff like that. So I'm like, cool beans, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I did it, and come to find out that there were pretty decent cars that they had, and I was like, you know what, like, my little bit of research, it ain't, the stuff that I'm finding is not, you know, like, satisfying me. So I'm gonna go to them, I'm gonna see what they talking about, I'm gonna see what are my options, and I'll go from there. So boom, this is me getting another car. So I was off the day that I went into Enterprise, and I had my aunt and her friend with me. I felt pretty confident in my decision to go and start the process or see what, you know, they had to offer. Now, as soon as I got there and I sat down with one of the salespeople, I let her know straight off the back, like, listen, this is what's going on with the car that I got now. I don't know exactly where the hell my credit is, but I think that it's pretty good. I can possibly, like, get something for it. I can possibly afford to try my luck. And that's exactly what the hell I did. So I let her know. I basically let her know, like, don't show me no cars. Don't try to take out no keys to no cars. I don't want to hear nothing about what this car got, what that car got, what's the best car that y'all got right now, and do the whole entire sales pitch. I know what I'm here for, and that's that. Like, there's no persuading me left or right. I'm going straight ahead for it. So she was like, oh, okay, well, we got you. So we ran my credit, seen what I got approved for, if I had gotten approved, and then afterwards, that's when we was looking at cars. Now, I did get approved from this bank called Santander Consumer USA, and it was like a $16,000 loan. So once I received that news, and it was like, this is your budget, you could get something that price or under, I just stuck with the $16,000 and trying to go under, because I know that there was gonna be, you know, like, all the extra, like, fees that there is when you go into a dealership. That, yeah, people who do this, yeah, understand what the hell I'm talking about. I'm not gonna elaborate on it. So I go on the lot, she gives me a couple options, and I go on the lot, and I'm, like, looking at cars, I'm test driving a couple. There was only one in particular that caught my heart. I was just like, yes, I want this one. And that was my 2001, 2001, my 2016 Nissan Altima. It was a 4-door sedan. It was silver. It was very nice. Like, I instantly fell in love with it right after, like, once I pressed the button to turn it on, and then it turned on, it started up, and I got to drive it off the lot. I was like, yeah, I want this one. I felt extremely comfortable. It was nice and spacious. Black interior, just the way I wanted, you know, like a car for me to be. So I was like, yeah, I want that one. And it just happened to be that that one was under my credit approval budget. So we started up the paperwork and everything like that, and like I said, I let them know what was going on with my car that I already had. So I was like, can I use that as a trade-in, because I personally know that I don't have the actual cash to use as a down payment if you guys ask for a down payment. And of course they did ask for a down payment, but since I had my Jeep, I didn't have to worry about that. It was just automatic. So it took me probably about 2.5 days, one day to do the full paperwork, and then the next day they had to they was already fixing the light and detailing the car for me, so like that is ready for me when I go and bring in my Jeep. And then the final day, it was just me basically just bringing in the Jeep. So that's where the half day comes in. So I'll go, I bring in the Jeep and just trade it off. I kid you not, I was super duper excited that I didn't even care for the fact that I still left some stuff inside of my damn Jeep. As soon as I pulled up, parked the car, I just took my keys and I was like, here you go. And it was like, let me get the other one, and she passed me the other key. I traded in my Jeep, I said my farewell, my goodbye. They brought out the red carpet with the green bow on my car, and I was super duper excited. My Jeep, I had named it Big Bird because of how big it was, and I wanted to keep it in the Sesame Street family, so I named my new car Elmo. And if I'm able to insert a picture, then I'll insert a picture and you'll see me saying hello Elmo and stuff like that. And now after I had gotten my Nissan, probably like a month later, my battery ends up going. Like, I was at work yet again, and it was my time to leave. My car didn't want to turn on again, but a whole brand new car. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I just got this damn car. What can possibly be wrong? And luckily for me, well, not that luckily, but there was a mechanic that was inside a store that I worked at, and he ended up coming outside and was like, well, I'll take a look at it for you. He looked at it, he was like, oh, you got corrosion on your battery. He put motor oil on it. After he had did that, he had charged me $50. Now, me, I thought he was just being a good Samaritan and like, oh, well, I'll take a look at it, like he said. But I did not know that there was going to be a charge to come along with it. And I honestly only had literally $2 in my wallet. So I gave that to him. And he was just like, well, I guess I come back for the rest. I was like, I guess so, because, I mean, I ain't know you was going to charge me, but it's whatever. Now, after that, I didn't have no issues. I ended up getting the money to change out my battery and stuff like that. Leading up to the last and final thing with my Nissan Altima, how it ended up sadly leaving this earth. I was after work, I ended up just hanging out with one of my friends all night after work, and instead of like going straight home or coming home, you know, like after a couple hours of hanging out, me like a retard, I just stood out all night, and I didn't like stay there because I didn't want to, and I ended up driving home at like 5 something in the morning, tired as hell, but you know, still driving. I was like 5 minutes away from my house. Now me, when I drive, I take back roads anywhere, to the grocery store, to Walmart, to a friend's house, to go to somebody else, whatever. I take back roads because it's just simpler for me. And like I said, I'm 5 minutes away from my house, and literally in the blink of an eye, I ended up in a ditch hitting a damn utility pole. So like the whole entire time that I'm sliding towards this damn pole, like I'm just going in and out, and all of a sudden it's just a huge crash. There's like smoke everywhere. My car started beeping, and I'm just freaking out inside my car, and you know, like, oh my god, I just literally crashed my damn car. And I had noticed right before I had crashed the car that there was a cop behind me. And I get out the car, and I'm freaking like climbing out the damn ditch with my slippers. My slippers end up getting stuck in the mud. And the cop is out the car. She's like, "Oh, are you okay? Are you okay?" And there's like this guy that lives in the house close by. He's like, "I heard it inside my house and I just had to come outside and I seen when she hit it." I'm like I could not process it that fast. I'm just like stuck on stupid with nothing on my feet, wearing shorts and a shirt. Summertime, of course. And I'm just standing on the road and they're just asking me questions and I'm just crying. I was able to grab my phone and I was calling my mom, no lie, like 60 times and she was not answering. So I just end up calling my cousin, asking him to come get me. And in the process of me waiting for him to come get me, I'm just standing there crying the whole entire time and just freaking out, upset at the fact that I'm the one who caused this to happen. I'm the one who crashed my own car. This is all my fault. I knew better than to be driving and being that tired. No, I honestly was not drinking. I am not stupid. But I can accept and I take full responsibility. Like, I know that it's my fault. It was nobody else's. Thank God that I didn't hit nobody else and nobody else was hurt. Like, I'm relieved at that. And the only thing that was hurt was then the utility pole. That's it. I mean, it was pretty bad. But after all that, the cop ended up actually leaving. She ended up asking the guy that came out of his house to stay with me because she had to get to work. Now, to my understanding, a police officer, you should stay at the scene. I don't know the process of it all, but I know damn well that a cop shouldn't have asked basically a damn pedestrian to stay with an injured person who just crashed their own car because you have to get to work. Like, that, it was mind-boggling. It made it seem like she wasn't even a real cop. She was just like a rent-a-cop or something. Like, you just had the suit on with a stage car because you're possibly and I don't know. But it was just very mind-boggling. And I really wasn't, like that, I would say, like, coherent enough to, like, look at her, recognize her face, and, like, recognize her badge or whatever. Because I honestly would have, like, reported it real quick. Because how you just gonna do that? Like, what? That makes me think that you could have just continued driving. Like, actually see me hit the damn pole and just continue driving. As she could have basically just done that. She wasn't even the one who called actual 911 in the ambulance. It was the guy who came out his house. That's so to just sum it all up, I got in my Jeep Grand Cherokee. I lost it due to mechanical issues, and I wasn't willing to put in any more money on it. Got my Nissan. I lost it due to me crashing it and totaling it. And now I am not in the process of trying to get another car. But I'm just glad that I am fortunate enough to actually still be here and that nobody else was hurt. So I hope that you guys like this video, and I don't know what else is gonna be next. I am just winging it, but enjoy the outro. Bye.
I feel blessed, I be flying. All my enemies are eternal for the rest. Keeping it fresh, I can keep it on my side, but I'm stressed. Sending everyone a voicemail, cause they didn't believe me when I told them I'm focused. I'm not saying I'm not lucky, just saying I'm just chosen.